All right, welcome to Mine Explorers episode 42, where we talk about how cheap work is expensive, how the world is changing, joint ventures and geopolitical landscape shifts,
The world is moving, and it's moving fast.
and nationalism and globalization. So we take a really big scope and a really small scope all in one episode.
Sounds like a very heavy episode today.
Yeah, it'll be a little heavy, but hopefully there's some good nuggets in here for everybody. So take it away, Crystal.
Yeah, so we were alluded to last week about we alluded to last week about how sometimes when you want the cheapest and fastest, it doesn't always turn out that way. And oftentimes we've seen that with our own clients of they want to get something done super fast, super cheap, and they just go for it. And then they come back and say, oh, hey, can you help us fix this? And it's like, well, yes, we can. But also let's talk about why Burgex is not the lowest cost provider, but we stamp our work in our landman department.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a little chunky, but
yeah, that was a chunky intro for a chunky topic. But I'm not anymore. So I haven't worn this shirt in 5 years. It hasn't fit, and it's been uncomfortable, and it's been collecting dust in the back of my closet. And today I shook it off, and I was able to confidently put it on. So
it looks great.
yeah,
It looks
thanks.
very good.
Thanks, and it's
Yeah.
comfortable. It's a nice shirt.
I know you make me feel like I should have worn a collared shirt today too, but
Yeah, plug for my buddy Kurt Chug from Haberdasher. He's makes custom clothes.
speaking of custom clothes and quality, those shirts look 10 times better than any of the other shirts that you have worn from, say, other places like Amazon.
Yeah.
Right? Like you can tell the quality, which is exactly what we're
Well,
talking
and they're
about.
custom tailored, so I get to pick out the cloth, he makes it, and dollar per dollar, I maybe am paying 20 to 30% more than I would pay for something off the rack in a department store.
Yeah.
And I'm getting a shirt that's made for me. In fact, a lot of them have my name or initials sewn into them.
And they're
my
unique.
shirts and jackets.
No one
Yeah.
else has that shirt.
Right, because I get to pick the inside color, how the collar sits, the length, all that stuff's adjustable, whether it's good to wear, tucked in, untucked.
Right. You're choosing
all that.
quality.
So, great segue, unintentionally. So when people choose Burgex let's talk about claim staking, because we have a lot of services, but claim staking I feel like is one where people want to compete on price.
Well,
And our clients want to bid on price.
yes, people want to compete on price because it's one of those services that sounds so easy,
Right.
right? It's been around for a long time. It's the laws of it have not changed a whole lot. So
Yeah.
people have this idea that, oh, I'm going to go stake a claims and throw a couple posts in the ground and file it and it's all good,
Yep.
right? And that sounds really nice. But we have learned over the years through many different challenges and navigating through the BLM and the county processes that is probably one of our more difficult services that we provide
Yep.
is claim staking.
Yeah.
It should be something that's fairly straightforward, but it is not. And there are so many ways that it can go wrong. And if you mess up on your claims, you mess up on acquiring your mineral rights, you put the rest of your project in jeopardy,
Yeah.
which is insane.
Yeah, I mean, we have clients, we've staked mining claims for clients who have, maybe they spent $100,000 acquiring mineral rights. And that's our fees doing the staking, and then most of it, the bulk of it, is fees to the Bureau of
BLM.
Land Management, the county.
Which is funny because $100,000 is a
maintenance
fairly
fees.
small project.
Yeah, a fairly small project, but as an illustrated example, we have clients who have spent $100,000 on staking, and then on top of that, they've spent $50 million on exploration and development.
Yep.
The value of all that work is underpinned by that claim staking. So if you cut corners and do a bad job here, you're jeopardizing the entire rest of the tower.
Well, and
right?
we've seen it too.
It's the foundation.
Because you can't rely on the federal government to make sure that your claims are adjudicated before you drill. You could assume that they are because it's part of the process, but sometimes they just rubber stamp. Right?
Well, it can take years.
It can take a long
for
time.
adjudication.
And we've
5,
seen
6, 7 years.
we've seen projects go from they stake their claims, they go to drilling. During the drilling process, the BLM finally gets around to adjudicating, and they're like, "Oh, hey, that's actually not on.
That's a withdrawn area.
That's a withdrawn area. You don't actually have the mineral rights.
The mineral rights are private. Yep.
That's like a horrific experience.
Well, and it's a horrific experience if you drilled and you got okay results and you're like, oh, I had a project. But if you drill and you get fantastic results and you announce it publicly because you're a public company, which most of our clients are,
yes.
in exploration, and then you find out later that because you cut corners, you don't have it at all. So there's one differentiator, and I want to make a bigger, like, I don't just want to make this a Burgex promotional thing. I want to make a bigger point.
No, it's not. We're definitely Burgex pride for sure,
right.
But it's a bigger issue than just what we do.
Well, and it extends to all other types of services too. Like, and I'll get into that in a minute. But there's one big differentiator, and sometimes our bids are a little cheaper than other people's, but most of the time we're a little more expensive,
right,
for landman services. And there's a key reason. So at a lot of firms that you hire, claim staking something they do with their spare geos. They've got extra geos that aren't out in the field, they're not doing anything else, they claim stake, or they have like one guy who knows how to draft the paperwork, and then they've got some temps or techs or buddies who are hunting guides or whatever, and they go out in the off season and they help stake.
Yeah, we've seen all
and
that.
And that's how the project's managed. And like one person manages all the drafting and the mapping and everything and the filing. At Burgex, we've taken it very seriously. And so, like we do with everything, we're like pretty adamant about quality in everything we do. Mm-hmm. We don't cut corners, we do quality. So when we stake a claim, we start with, even if they've already done their land status research to make sure the area is open for staking, even if they've already done it, we redo it.
Absolutely.
So there's double check. Even if they really know what they're doing and it's a landman who brought us the project, we still do a review of that land status.
Yeah,
then
it's so easy to pull the wrong map.
We draft our claims, and those are double checked and triple checked. We draft our paperwork, and those are double checked and triple checked. Mm-hmm. And they're not just going through somebody who kind of knows, like they're going through landmen who are registered and certified with the
we
American
have a whole
Association.
SOP process for that.
Well, and they're certified with the American Association of Professional Landmen.
Right.
Like they're actually professionals with a stamp and certifications. So they're looking at it. But not only that, but we have a mining attorney who is on and available to answer any questions about anything that's different. And we run into different situations all the time.
We do.
Where there's a certain land order that's ambiguous, or
the split estates get confusing really fast.
There's different things that have happened.
Yeah.
And so we have a mining attorney on staff, and then we have a compliance manager who reviews the entire process to make sure that it's done right. Then we send our team out. That's before we even send our
that's
team
before
out.
we even, because we want our field copies to be exactly the same as the filed copies.
And so our team goes out in the field, they stake, and not only do they stake, but they have geo-tracking turned on.
Yes.
So we can actually see where they went, how they accessed,
where the posts
that they went to the corners, where the posts, and they take geotagged photos of every post. So we have 2 points of verification that a certain post was put into the ground at a certain time. That seems like overkill. But we've done expert witness work, and we've worked on cases that have gone to court, and that has saved our clients millions of dollars. And we've had examples. Amanda told me about an example recently where somebody lost their entire project because they hired a lower cost provider and they had no evidence that they actually did the work in the field.
Oh no.
They didn't have photos or GPS tracks. It was just their word against the word of the other guys. And that'll get you so far, but having the evidence, so that's something else we do. So we have all that process in the beginning. In the field, we gather all this evidence. And on top of that, especially for our bigger clients where safety is such a priority, we have a whole bunch of safety protocols and systems and processes, and we have a dedicated safety manager who's involved in every project.
Yep, that's embedded into the day-to-day.
And then when they go out in the field and then the paperwork comes back, there's more checks and audits, it gets filed. We babysit it through the filing process.
You have to.
And we provide all the documentation to our client. And then the most important differentiator is if there's an issue in the future, we fix it. We own it, we fix it.
Yep. If we have to make an amendment, we will.
And that is worth its weight in gold. We're the only ones who really explicitly guarantee our work, that we will cover amendments. We'll send guys out in the field. We've sent guys out 1,000 miles away to go move a post.
Yeah.
Nobody else does that. And that all comes out of our pockets. So
it gets expensive.
When it comes to
we
cost more, that's a great example. So somebody may hire somebody else for $10,000 cheaper, and we have real world examples of this, and it costs them $300,000 or $1 million down the road.
I always feel so bad when clients come to us and they're like, hey, I had so-and-so do the staking program. They accidentally made a mistake, a huge mistake, and they're not returning my calls, and I really need this project to go and move forward. Can you fix their mistake? And it's like, oh, yes, we can, but...
Yeah, and sometimes we're like, somebody else has already overstaked you and it's over.
Right, like we'll do our best.
Yeah, because there are people out there who look for mistakes and they will swoop in and get on top of it. I mean, we've got 2 or 3, I would say, hostile situations now where litigation may or may not happen with some of our clients, where they bought or acquired or had other people stake projects and they had mistakes and somebody else came in.
Oh, it's the Wild West out there sometimes. And they hire us
to fix it or try to at least help them recover.
Claim jumping is still much a very real thing. It's crazy. Very much a real thing. But
anyway, that was a lot.
It is a lot. I mean, and we just, being in the mineral exploration space, it is so volatile and it's just so dynamic that we do take it very personally, like to do the very best that we can, because we just understand like the entire process is so arduous. It's like we want to make it as easy as possible for our clients because we know the road ahead is not going to be easy.
Yeah, and it extends beyond. Our landman department is extra diligent, and we do a lot more than other people there, and we don't really advertise or promote it enough, but our clients who use us regularly know the difference.
They know.
And they keep coming back to us, and they pay a bit of a premium to have the peace of mind.
Yep.
And so I never want to be the low-cost provider and cut corners and beat them up on costs. I want to be the quality provider.
Right.
Where I want to be at a level, and I think we're almost there, but in a few years where somebody's going to buy a project and they go, yeah, Burgex did all of our land work. And that's something they go, oh, that's a premium. That's I'm going to buy this project at a premium because I know I'm not going to have headaches down the road.
Right. We want to give our clients that kind of confidence.
Yeah.
Like when they get something from Burgex, they know it's quality.
Yeah. And it extends to other departments. I'm doing a PEA level study right now.
Yeah.
An economic study. We talked about it a little bit in the last episode. And even though it's only a PEA level study, and I've already done enough work to submit it and call it done, I'm going the extra step to get it closer to PFS level so that every metric and number is solidly backed and I have all the supporting documentation, because our hope is that we'll continue to the pre-feasibility level, and then for our client, half that work's already done.
That's awesome.
So it's a huge value for that.
That's awesome. I'm really excited for that project.
And in that case, we probably are the low-cost provider.
We probably
But we're providing a much superior service because it's a segment of the industry we're growing into. So
Yes.
I'm gonna under-promise and way over-deliver.
All right, cool. That'll be
Yep.
fun. That'll be fun. Anyway, in other news, some big movements have been happening recently here in the United States with more foreign investment coming in. And I think it's really interesting now. So just yesterday, or anyway, just recently, MP Materials has gotten an investment from Saudi Arabia, their Ma'aden company, and now it's looking like that Saudi Arabia is going to own 51% of Mountain Pass, 51% equity, and Mountain Pass is 49%.
Wow.
So this is kind of changing.
Is that in Mountain Pass? Because I read that they were building a refining facility in Saudi Arabia that would be a split between the Department of War, MP Materials, and Ma'aden.
Oh, I don't know.
Let me see your notes. I didn't study it all because it just came across my desk.
It just happened very recently.
Okay, so Ma'aden is not taking a equity stake in Mountain Pass. MP Materials, the U.S. Department of War, and I hate that name, and Saudi Arabia's Ma'aden, they're forming a rare earth refinery joint venture.
That makes way more sense. Okay.
Yeah, so they're building a refinery in Saudi Arabia. And they're turning.
So is this to get away from China processing all the rare earths?
Yes. So it's building an independent supply chain outside of China's control. Because you remember China, Iran, they're on that kind of Shiite side of the picture in the Middle East, and then the United States, Saudi Arabia, the Emirates, Qatar, like that's more the Sunni side of the Middle East. So there's kind of, that's how you divide it. So, and then China, of course, has big, heavy Africa presence. So this is the United States and the Saudis working together to kind of counter that. And so part of the 2030 Vision 2030 in Saudi Arabia is creating a mineral processing hub in Saudi Arabia. And as part of that, the Saudis are investing very heavily in Saudi. They're encouraging other investors to invest heavily in Saudi. But where they need to, they're making outside investments that all feed in.
Right.
So, and this is great because a lot of our clients are involved. So Ivanhoe Electric and Ma'aden have been partners, and they're exploring with Typhoon across Saudi Arabia and the Arabian Shield, and they're finding mineral deposits. MP Materials, who's been a long-term fantastic client of ours, is now building a refinery in Saudi Arabia with Ma'aden and the Department of War. So Ma'aden will control it with 51% equity, the refinery.
Right.
And then MP Materials and the Department of War, and yes, I still hate that, is going to own 49% equity. So they'll still control it, but this is the Saudis getting outside backing to move this forward.
That's interesting. So are we taking all of our concentrate then to Saudi Arabia?
Some of it, but...
Are we also looking at other development within...
Any rare earths that can be sourced within the Middle East,
yes,
or even northeastern Africa, will
go to that processing
can
facility.
be processed there.
Interesting.
Concentrates travel a lot further than raw materials.
Oh, yeah.
So this is the final step, the refining, the expensive, the difficult. So MP is providing the technology and the expertise.
Cool.
MP may also support and collaborate on Saudi magnet manufacturing, which is the ultimate goal. We talked about that. So state involvement, though, is an interesting aspect of this. And it's definitely not an outlier anymore. we're seeing more and more DOD, not DOW,
Yeah. Yeah.
involvement in critical minerals.
Yeah. They're getting their hands in everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're talking about stockpiling too.
And I like that. I'm not a fan of the government taking equity stakes. I don't think that's the way to do it.
Right.
I think the government investing in pilot programs and R&D is good, and they can do that through universities.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah.
And direct investments in companies. I think taking an equity stake is the wrong way to do it. That's just nationalization by another name. But I think stockpiling materials and having strategic stockpiles is a way to stimulate local growth and create kind of a subset economy and supply chain without being too meddlesome.
Right.
But as we talked about last episode, this AI race is so critical that I think you'll see more and more and more direct government involvement.
Yeah, I don't think it's going away anytime soon.
But with all that said, if the government came to us and said, hey, we'll give you $1 billion for a 40% stake in Burgex, I probably wouldn't run away.
Our team members might.
Yeah.
Unless
but
they
we
gotta
have
pay
so
out.
many more.
Yeah. Oh dear. Now it's interesting. It's interesting that demand's not going away. If anything, it's increasing tenfold. And the amount of materials needed for the future is just unreal. It's kind of hard to comprehend because it seems like every deposit needs to just keep going. And then we're having a lot of disasters happen as well.
Right.
You know, some mines are closing down because of recent flooding and collapses and stuff. So that means like copper's going to be taking a big hit here soon.
Copper supply, yep.
Mm-hmm.
And copper's been strong. It's been above $5 for a while now.
Yep.
$5 a pound. So this feeds really nicely into our next topic, which is globalization versus nationalization.
Yep.
And what we're seeing now is we're fragmenting supply chains. And this started in COVID, but COVID really shined a flashlight on it, a spotlight.
Oh, yeah.
I say flashlight because I like being underground, but COVID shined a spotlight on it. But this began, Peter Zeihan was writing about this, and he's a big, really interesting geopolitical guy.
Yeah.
And he ties geopolitics to geography in a really interesting way. And his underlying theory of everything he says is that geography really dictates geopolitics, and that the economic success or failure of nations is really dependent on their geography.
He makes a lot of really great points.
But he called this a long time ago, that the United States would start shifting away from Bretton Woods and being the world police, and we would see this shift from globalization back to nationalization. So with nationalization, you have, instead of global supply chains, you have supply chains that are regional and local, which is a lot more like we see in aggregates and cement and things like that, where
Right.
Yes, they do move across oceans and they move across borders, but largely they're regional plays. So with supply chains, China has happily produced all the rare earths, built all the high-tech components, magnets and different things that go into building all the gadgets and things that run our world. Now with the supply chains fragmenting and going regionally, or like an east-west divide like we talked about in the Middle East. We got one team and then the other team, and then they all kind of work together to create separate supply chains. Mm-hmm. How you rank and value mineral deposits changes completely. Because now you may have, like, instead of, China may have a lithium mine that's an A mine, fantastic economics, easy to mine, high grade, great infrastructure. And then there's a mine like Thacker Pass, which is more expensive, not as great infrastructure, not as easy to mine, not as easy to process. But instead of all the resources shifting to and developing this one, now because this one is on one side of the fence and this one's on the other side of the fence, they both get developed.
Right.
And this supply doesn't affect this supply as much. That's what we're seeing. And it changes the whole scope because now location matters a lot more than it used to. And we're seeing that with the Barrick Newmont thing.
Yeah, we are seeing that.
Yeah,
because they want to divide assets and have one strong division in North America and then the international division.
Yep, because now location's more important.
Because location's more important.
There may be mines that are higher grade and more profitable
right.
in Africa or Asia, but because Nevada Gold Mines is in Nevada and it's a stable jurisdiction and there's a lot less geopolitics and things like that, supply chain risk, suddenly these assets are more valuable than these assets.
Right.
Because geology, like, it's all about grade. It's about grade. It's about grade, logistics, things like that. And then geopolitics and political risk has always been a factor, but it's risen up higher and higher. And now it's about as high as it's ever been.
Yeah.
I mean, in our lifetimes.
Right, that we've noticed.
Yeah, because it's been high. I mean, obviously a lot of different times during World War II, But since we've really had a global economy, it's really come to the forefront. And depending on the element, a lot more so. So strategic minerals, rare earths, things like that, now where they're located is of critical importance. So a subpar, like we're looking at a lot of tungsten projects in the United States. And compared to a lot of international, like tungsten projects in China, they're not great. They're good, they're not great. But because they're here now, and because we may not be able to access tungsten from China, or the United States wants its own supply, now those deposits are suddenly very interesting.
Yeah.
Because even with subpar economics, if there's a price floor or the government's buying, it changes the whole picture.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it actually makes those things economical.
Yep. We've seen a big shift in geopolitics.
Yeah, we have,
and it'll continue.
Recently too. I mean, it's only happened over the last few years. It's like really starting to make a change and movement. So
one of the interesting things that Peter Zeihan brings up and that I think about a lot is Trump is accelerating nationalization here and globally because you're seeing other mini versions popping up in different countries.
Oh yeah.
But he's more a sign of the times than the cause of the times.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Okay, yeah.
So Trump got elected because people have grown weary of Bretton Woods and globalization. Like, we're tired of the European Union telling us what to do. We're tired of being bullied around by China, tired of this, tired of that. And so Trump was able to rise up and be like, I'm going to be the face of nationalization and all the good and bad that comes with that. And I think that's more a sign of where things are at than the cause of where things are at.
Right. No.
But it does accelerate it for sure.
No, he's definitely been the kind of the voice of it.
Yeah.
Which is, what he does.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody needs to.
Yeah, and for some things, like, I think having supply chain security and having domestic mining that's done in a environmentally friendly place with regulations and protections, and we care about the people, and there's
safety.
There's ESG is actually real here, and it's not just talking points. I think all that's really good, but then other things like the Department of War we talked about, like, I think being so aggressive and so just ridiculous sometimes is not productive.
Yeah, there's definitely a balance there, and yeah, we're not in balance.
And look, we can't expect balance and reason from politicians, but
no,
it's going to be more pendulum swings hard one way or another.
Yeah.
But I think in general, even if things completely shift to the other direction in the next administration, they're trending towards more nationalization because
we have a lot of momentum.
Biden started a lot of this critical minerals stuff.
He did, yeah.
And there was a lot of talk about we need more domestic mining. And then they threw lots of roadblocks. So they're like, but not really, but we want to talk about it.
It was confusing because it was really exciting of like, oh, we were starting to talk about critical minerals and all of the needs of that, for supply chain and all of that. And then they like threw in the BLM public lands rule. And it was like, well, okay.
Yeah.
You want it, but now we can't get it.
Now we're getting some roadblocks removed. But on the flip side, like, there's still... We're having a lot of adjudication issues, a lot of staffing issues.
Oh, there's plenty of work to be done. And sometimes I do feel like it's like walking uphill in sand of like, oh, okay, we're increasing mining development, we're increasing exploration. There's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of money coming into the sector, but then you still have all the bureaucracy that comes with it.
Yep.
And so that's been kind of challenging to navigate. And it's like, well, we're going as fast as the government will let us.
Yep.
But
you want to show everybody your mug?
I didn't get one when I was there in Salzburg.
You should have. It's really cool. That's the little train we rode into the mine, but we went on
Let's see,
separate
they have
trips.
the little miners on here. That's what they rode going into the salt mine. It's cute.
Really neat, yeah.
Great place. If you ever have a chance to visit a salt mine, highly recommend.
The Berchtesgaden Salzworks.
They're all over the
in
world.
Bavaria, which is near Berchtesgaden, but it's also really close to the Austrian border, not too far from Salzburg. So
it's a beautiful place.
Yeah, it's up in the mountains, very pretty.
Beautiful
anyway,
place.
That was a good episode. I think we covered a lot, so we'll keep our eyes on Saudi Arabia and that refinery, and cheap work can be very expensive.
Cheap work can be very expensive.
And it could be hiring a cheap plumber for your house, or using the lowest cost guy to build a house.
We've all had that experience.
Build your driveway, or
going
professionals.
The cheap route.
I mean, we are looking at another tax firm personally and for the business, and this is like our third or fourth in the last 15 years, and we've slowly tried to find a better provider, and they're more expensive, but we still haven't found that sweet spot where somebody who really cares.
Well, in theory, a good tax provider should pay for themselves. But
right.
Anyways, all right, until next time.
Yep.